Oh, it's happening all over America, all over the world. Ed Till live. I thought we should do some Trump talk radio today. We haven't done this in a while. And my favorite defeated presidential candidate was in the news this morning.
Oh boy, just what we need more of.
No,
It
I,
still
I
hasn't
miss
been long
her.
enough.
I'm going to be honest with you. I like people even when they are mean to me or are annoying to me. I still try to like them. I'm a Roman Catholic. We're supposed to love everybody no matter what. So we are. That's what we're taught. Jesus put up with the most annoying people. You could see Jesus bumping into Hillary going, oh my God, I can't even cut her off because that's what, Jesus is nice to people. So I feel, as a Catholic, my whole life, I've always tried to be nice to people, even when they bother
Really?
me, break my chops like she has, rhetorically many times. She's made me very upset over the years. She's given me a lot of stomach ache over the years. But still, there's a bond of, deep down, she's not that bad. She makes herself look worse than she is. So this morning, she did it again. She did it again. It kills me that this woman, as smart as she's supposed to be, but I say supposed to be now, I mentioned this to a few people earlier. I've had a theory now over the last 12, 15 minutes. I've had a theory hit me. Yeah, I think the theory is she might not be that bright. It may be that she did great at Harvard. Not Harvard. She went to Yale. And she went to that a girls' school, very famous. She went to two joints. Did she go to Wellesley? I think she went to Wellesley. Two famous joints of education. Places that should not let you skate on by. And I don't know, she wrote a paper. This is how well known she was back in the day. She wrote a paper to get through graduate school, whatever, explaining one of the great socialist, radical charismatics of all time, Saul Alinsky. If you're an anarchist, if you're a revolutionary, if you hate the banks, if you live in Zuccotti Park, whatever you're against in capitalism, I'm sure you love Saul. What happened? You got a thing going on there?
I'm here.
Oh no, I know that, but you made the big monologue. Which I was reaching a rhetorical pitch right there. It seems like somebody was preoccupied with something else. No problem. Do you get my meaning here? And let me get you back in. I think I lost you. In terms of interest wise, are you with me on this or what? Do you see where I'm going?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? I don't know. I feel like you're lost now. You're on the speakerphone. There was other news going on there. So I'm just saying, if I can have your full pick up the phone, no speakerphone attention for this point, then I will release you from captivity.
Go ahead.
Affirmative action, unfortunately, went with women too. Girls were given jobs girls were not prepared for, to have a girl in the job. Get that simple reasoning? Very simple. No,
Okay,
I mean simple.
yeah.
Simple reasoning. I want to show a woman in my law firm. So I get Hillary Clinton. She may not be the brightest bulb in the shed. This is not the smartest ever uterus walking down the street. But she is a uterus. She is willing to jump into as that person. She'll be our show-off girl to prove that we have girls at our law firm. Can't have all boys. That's politically incorrect. We need a girl. She'll do it. That hurts. That hurts. Obama hurt me the same way. I don't mind listening to poor downtrodden women. Oh, poor women, what's been done to us. Oh, poor black people, what's been done to them. I get it. Everybody gets a moment to cry about how bad they've had it because of what they are. and it's not their fault they were born that way, and blah, 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 blah. I listened to it. I heard the very beginning of this rock opera, and it kills me that we went for one guy simply on race. The cool black guy gets elected for being a cool black guy. Shame on us. Shame on our intellect. And she, no problem, doing the same thing. Doing the same thing. She's not, I love her, but she's got to learn someday before she passes away. She's really not that smart. And that's what hurts me. I don't like promoting who's not deserving because they're a girl. And she's the godmother of that. She owns that for 4 decades in America. She was this woman and that woman. And I have a uterus. And I have a uterus. That's what I always hear. I hear like, I have parts of my body parts. You can't trump them. I have skin color. You can't trump that. You can't beat that. I love how his name now is used more in the old card playing context. You want to say trumping something means that's bigger. I trumped it. My car trumped your car. Old expression. Now it sounds like you're talking about him. I love it. I love it. So it's
and
killing me.
If you think about it, yes, you go back 8 years. Who did the young, charismatic black guy beat? He beat Hillary to get there. So again, obvious that she does not, she didn't have it back then, what it takes to be a president, nor did she this time.
That was her
delusion.
Just
feel so entitled, and I guess.
All right.
Look,
here's the thing. Right. I hear you with the entitled. That's a good point. We should talk about that for a second. First of all, what do you see in the entitlement category? How do you read that with her? You think that's an accurate tag on her? You think it's a shorthand media stereotype that they go to, whether it's true or not? That's the way you make her look.
The Clintons, that's one of the nouns that goes synonymously with the Clintons. They're entitled. It's their rules.
That's the
and
difference.
They're above the law.
That's the difference. No law
applies to them.
That's
right.
right.
No deed is too dirty. We'll get rid of them, and it's our way or the highway.
Correct.
F you if you don't.
You got it. Now, I do believe what you just described right there, to be fair, that's the husband's game plan that she was on the team of. She wasn't the grand master of his career.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
He's the A-lister. She's the B-lister in that department. Okay, with all that machinery of the party, deny everything, smear the other guy, do all that stuff that they used to say was being done to the Democrats. The Democrats, I think with the Clintons, whenever the Clintons were becoming prominent, I guess when he gave his speech to the Democratic National Convention, was when he started his big momentum role, Bill Clinton. Long before he became the candidate, he gave a speech. Everybody started to cry. He did the Elvis, accent. He did his best. Bill Clinton, right? Did his best. They loved it. You got it. They did it. They
Blue
loved
eyes,
it.
Pouty.
Ran for it, right? But
He'll
what I
make
see,
any C-list Poontang feel like a millionaire.
well, look, the thing is, that's the part that turns out to be easiest to forgive. It's not flattering like some people think it is. Some people think it goes with his badass vibe. He's a badass. Badasses cheat on their wives. They don't sit home and say, honey, pass the salt. There's sprinkling cinnamon on some strange girl's, body parts and having dessert. That's what that image is. But what kills me about her, see, again, him, I understand. And the stuff that he did that really bothered me will have nothing to do with the girl. I don't care about the girl. It's the other stuff he does I don't like, but leave him out of it. She's her own woman. She gets into this thing. She has a terrible time people tell her in the beginning of the campaign, your message isn't clear and crisp. You're letting this email thing, they're sucking you into it. You need a good message, and you need to end the email thing, whatever it's going to be. You're going to turn everything over, or you're not going to turn everything. Whatever it's going to be, you better cut it and cut it quick. And you got to. And she didn't respond to either one.
Right.
Yeah.
She needed something fresh. She needed some sort of connection to the millennials, and she was so out of touch. She's all in with women 60 and above, but everyone else, she had a struggle. Do something. And the other thing I hate about her is she'll say, I'm against this, but then I'm for it when in this circumstance. So she never does have a clean cut verdict on something. It's like, well, yes, that's wrong, but in this case, it's okay she never was one-sided. She always had these two sides and was wishy-washy.
She, in my opinion, this is what kills me. This is what's bugging me. A lot of people will say this stuff doesn't matter. I understand their little meaningless life, that they're not attached to anything and they have no time. But to really be an American, to be an American citizen, right, compared to a citizen of other countries elsewhere in the world, around the globe, I mean, it can get horrible. You can go to a real awful country, or you can go to places like Europe where, it's even more disengaged. I get it. They're too tired. They're too aggravated. And again, many just not smart enough for all this. This is really fast-moving, big stuff. And for a lot of people, they just run into it. It's too big. What are you going to do, learn about chemistry? Just so you can have an argument with a guy down the hall? You're going to become a chemist so you can argue chemistry with him? Probably not. But if you see the chemist every day, I know you like to comment on his clothing, his hair, but yeah, I know how people are. My heartbreak is that affirmative action has hurt the people it tried or said it wanted to help. That's what bothers me. And she, this morning, by going public with, Trump made my skin crawl. Don't you get it yet? He was trying to. He did it exactly as it should have been. He took you down as the number one odds-on favorite, and he wiped you out. It wasn't close. It wasn't by 2 electoral votes. It wasn't a cliffhanger. It was a Hillary surrenders before midnight night. Yeah. So this is what's killing me.
And I don't like how she looped it together like the hot pieces of ass he's talking about with Billy Bush on the bus. She immediately puts herself in the same category, like she's a hot piece of ass, and Donald Trump was stalking her right behind her, and it was creepy. It's like, no, honey, you're 70 years old, you're washed up.
Easy.
That was a strategic tactic, and you fell for it, you sucker. And how weak of you to come out and say this right now. It makes her look even more pathetic.
You're mean. Do you hear yourself calling her all those names? Terrible. She's incompetent. It's interesting. Some guy said that about Trump yesterday or the day before. And I'm like, the guy who thinks Trump is not smart is from some farm town in the middle of hoo-ha nowhere. What would you know about who's smart? What? Tell me how smart the people are that you even bump into, these guys that evaluate him on competence. But it does break my heart about her. I was around when women got all excited about getting involved. Oh, we're going to run for office. And we were, of course, what do you want? Again, we're Catholic. Catholics are the only real followers. Everybody else is some watered-down version that ran from the Catholic Church. You can check it in history. It's only one group of people following Jesus since he had the Last Supper. One and only one, Holy Roman Catholics, and that's it. Everybody else is fine to have what they have. Catholics don't judge other religions. but we all know that they were made up off of ours because ours was too tough to follow. So they went and made one for the sensitive people, just like the millennials today. There were millennials back in biblical times. That's the way it is. You know, the guy comes, he's the son of God, he says what he's got to say, and he leaves. That's it. With the Catholics, what he said is what is. Every other religion in Christianity, well, that one part we can't really do, so we're going to be the Calvinists, then we're going to be the Puritan. Oh, come on. You know, the guy was God. Just straighten up and do what he said. Shut up. There'll be no discussion about what Jesus said or Moses. So that's Catholics. Catholics have to do right by people, even if they don't like people. We're told as Catholics, what if you don't like someone? What if you don't like someone? You have to help them anyway. You have to do everything for the one you don't like as much as you do for the one you like. So that kills me about Hillary. That's all. I'm feeling very, very bad for her. And I know you guys, I say you guys, she's easy to pick on. She's easy to kick around. And again, I don't know, in my world, when I see somebody getting kicked around all the time because of their personality, that's usually the kind of kid I hang around with in high school. That's the kind of kid you throw him a bone, hang around, invite him to your clique, you know, because the kid's getting all kinds of grief. So I feel that about her. I'm sad that she wasn't bright enough. She didn't have the moxie. She didn't have the truth. You know, she missed another thing that you got to have, and her husband had it. You have to act like you have the truth. You have to be imbued with it. You can't just look it up on an index card. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and when you're delivering the truth, you can't sound like this in a monotone and preach like you don't know what you are talking about.
See what I mean? Like, it's easy. She's got so many personality traits that are easy to go after that I feel bad for her. This is how I feel this morning. I go, you know, she doesn't realize she was just a sensitive little girl who tried to get into this big, rough and tumble world, and she never got a handle on it from the very beginning. You know, Saul Alinsky was what she thought was worth writing about. That was worth putting her time and attention. You know what I mean? She was so lucky to be at Yale. She was so lucky to be at Yale Law School. Now you're really getting down to a small number of people get to graduate from schools that powerful, Harvard, Yale, you know, the whole top five there. So, I don't know. It's just, it makes me sad, you know, because the other day I saw my mother's, obituary came out. They wrote her up in the Sentinel when she passed away. And I was showing it to somebody, and I read my mother's biography again. And I said, see, this is who you would have wanted. You know, poor little Hillary, forget it. The little girl from the Midwest, what does she know? If Tina Tyll or Tina DeVizio was in there, forget it. She would have been reelected twice. The country would be over the top. They'd have to worry about protecting her. She'd definitely be like one of those JFK charismatic figures, Reagan, where they take a shot at her. They would absolutely go after her because she would stir it up so deeply. But this little one over here, you know, little blondie, grows up in the Chicago area with her stern father, her sheltered bubble existence. You know, Hillary, stay in the backyard. Hillary, have your friends over. Come on, Hillary, we're making sandwiches in the backyard. This is not life. That's not, you know, it's good if all you want to stay in that backyard. Then it's beautiful. But if you think you're going to go out there from the backyard, then you're going to get into the big law firm, then you're going to get to the White House, you got to change out of your Rebecca from Sunnybrook Farm naivete. You got to get good. You know this because you love baseball. Isn't it terrible when they promote somebody into the majors and they're not ready? How ugly are those guys' experiences? They come up to the majors for like one weekend. It's their first weekend up there, and they're getting crushed They're unqualified in every way. Maybe it's a pitcher, and second inning he's down 6-0. They're beating him 6-0 because they're hitting everything he throws. So that's how I felt about her. It broke my heart. I never liked this affirmative action. People don't think of it as much with women. They go with this entitlement thing. You pointed that out before. Right?
Well, the thing is, for the Democrats, she was the most qualified. I think she was the most qualified person to become the next president. But that just shows how lame her campaign was, that she didn't step all over Trump. And I think there was a huge wave of motion, to drain the swamp, be it Donald Trump or anyone else. I think the whole nation was just like, God, let's get someone in there who's not a politician. And she played it so politician-y. It's like, ugh.
That's
I'm a
I think you got
Democrat,
it.
and I was like, this is enough. This is enough.
No, that's a great point. At the time when being a politician was the least popular ever, she went and acted like one.
Right.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, see, again, I don't want to pick on her because I love her. And I don't hate on her at all because I understand what this world is like. I've been out there. I see what goes on. It's not the way pundits think, for sure. But the big flaw in this woman is in her quote that's out today. He made my skin crawl. He made my skin crawl. That's what he was trying to do. I mean, how does that not sound like Polly Purebred? Where's Underdog? I mean, my skin crawl. Oh, he creeps me out. That is world leadership? He creeps me out.
Right.
So I feel bad.
Are you going to do that with Putin in the,
that's what I'm saying.
Conference room?
You got it. And to not know you're doing it. We need a higher IQ. I'm so sick of everybody's basically as smart as No, they're not. What's wrong with you? Take a look at planet Earth. Will you do a little research? No, not everybody is basically as smart as everybody else. No, it didn't turn out that way. We wish. I know you want to tell this to the kids when your kid is a dumb friend. And now they're doing homework together every day. And your kid is the one helping the dummy every day. Your kid is getting nothing accomplished because the other one.
You gotta cut him loose.
You gotta. I love the kid, but he's too dumb. Don't be afraid to say people are dumb. Don't be afraid to say that people are dim-witted. Don't be afraid to say this. It's okay. There's a place for people that are not that smart. There's good jobs. There's good neighborhoods. You can live, but stop running around with everybody's just about as smart as everybody else, because it's not true. And I feel, again, heartbreak for all the damage done. Women are going to have to put up with now because the first one goes out there and doesn't know she's not smart enough. And that's what affirmative action tells people. It tells people that are not smart enough that they are smart enough. You do have what it takes. No, you don't, is what you got to say. Got to be candid. Got to be honest. And then you got a firm foundation. So you look at her foundation. And what is she now? She's got to be 75. No, what is she, 70? She's 70, right? Didn't they both turn? They both turned.
I think like high 60s or 70, 71.
I think they both turned 70 within 12 months of each other. I just think they're at opposite ends. Like one of them is 71 first, but they're up there. Mm-hmm. So, look, the girl's been like this since she was in college. Right. She's been like this since college. It kills me. It breaks my heart. And I'm with her 1,000%. But it's horrible. This is affirmative action has literally damaged every single aspect of what I'm concerned about. Progress, success, doing better in the future, having the vision. See, this is another thing we're into now. We're into the dark, black, no vision crowd is out there now. They don't do vision. If you don't have vision, you can't really, you know what I mean? You can't make it out of thin air. It either strikes you,
Well,
you either see great things or you don't see anything. You know what I mean? Most people don't see anything. And again, it's fine, but you can't be the leader of the world and this and that, or whatever. You're not going to do a good job with no vision. You need vision. So last night he was great. Last night he had vision. That's what the difference between Trump last night with that rally to switch to him, because that's who she's all over the TV this morning. He made my skin crawl. And last night, he put, what do you call it in the back of my neck? The hair stood up, the chills. I got chills at how great he was. He attacked all the right people. He went after all the right people. He went after them hard. He called them out. Don Lemon almost had a menstrual period right on the air. I watched Don, and I'm like, he's sitting on a maxi pad. He's bleeding like a cow right now through his imaginary vagina. When I saw Don Lemon last night, it was all worth it. I was like, this is what, he did what I can't do. Don doesn't take my calls. I try to call Don and admonish him. I try to call him to yell at him, but I didn't have to. Trump almost had Don jumping out the window of CNN last night. He was speechless because this is the Trump I got behind on the escalator. This is the Trump that I've been behind ever since the first moment. And, this other thing he learned last night was beautiful. This is something I think it's in his book. I think it's actually Norman Vincent Peale, all the people he looks up to. When something goes wrong, like it did a few days ago, and people don't get you, they don't understand you. And now there's a big fight about what you said. And these people said you said this, and the other people said you said that. All the greats that Trump admires knows what you have to do. I use this expression in this business, in show business, entertainment, broadcast. You have to fly over. You have to take what is awesome and dwarf anything else. And that's what he did. He pulled out that speech. He went line by line. He recounted the entire Charlottesville, but he never said both sides. He never said everybody's guilty. He didn't say any of that stuff. He did what that's the guy I elected. I add nothing to what that guy said last. It was perfect. And then he went on a great rant about it. Would you know that he passed more laws than any other sitting president? 50. He's got 50 pieces of legislation passed, the highest number. He just beat Harry Truman. I never heard that before. Who would know that? He passed more laws than any other sitting president at this point. Would you believe that from the media that you watch?
No.
No, exactly. So he crushed. He was like, what he reminded me of last night? When Billy Joel goes out there, or Bruce Springsteen, or, some big act, and the public loves everything they do up there. Good evening, everybody. Yeah. The first song we'd like to do. Yeah. It doesn't matter. They're so happy that the band is there. They go nuts with every utterance on stage. That's what last night was like. It was like electric. It was like, this is it. I said, this is what changes the world right here. This is how you change the world. You don't change the world with position papers and my thoughts on this. That's not. You change the world with what he had last night. He was determined, and he took all of it. He was on stage for an hour and 15 minutes. That's like headlining a comedy thing. You know what I mean? Most people don't do an hour 15.
Right. Yep.
He was spectacular. This is what you voted for, was last night. That's the perfect.
Not
that
me.
That is. Well, you. Who'd you vote for?
Not Donald Trump.
Right, but who did you actually vote for?
Yeah.
Who?
Don't make me.
Oh, yeah, you have to say it. Come on, you have to say it now. You're taking shots at my boy. If you're going to take shots at my boy, you have to admit that you voted for whom?
I was voting for the lesser of two evils, in my opinion.
Yeah, but what did it say on the ballot when you pulled the lever or
It
punched?
said Hillary Clinton.
Oh, that's terrible. See, that's what I mean. That's a problem right there. So, well, when you saw her this morning, that her skin crawled. What I think. And then what did you think? How did you feel when you heard her say, "My skin
Oh,
crawled"?
I heard it. Yeah, I heard it on Howard Stern. They were busting up on her.
Right. How
Kind
did?
of weakness.
Yeah. No. I mean, it sounded like she was kind of afraid of him. Isn't that what a
Yeah.
creep is? You kind of, if you're creeped out by somebody, you're a little bit afraid of them. All right. Good luck in the business world today. Where are you off to? What do you got to do next?
I'm meeting people to clean out a house.
Nice. The Tyll Show, Starcom Radio Network. He is back.
Question authority.
I think the biggest stereotype of Donald Trump that was broken last night, and I love it because this is what he does best, was that people can't learn at his age. Donald Trump is 70, 71 years old. He's not going to change. He's not going to learn. Oh, he learns. He learns fast. Last night's speech was pitch perfect. I mean, on every point. But his explanation and his omission, we didn't hear anything about both sides. That phrase did not, you know why? Because he learns. And I love that. That's what, I'm not putting in a static choice. I don't work for 2 years supporting somebody, so it's static, baby. I want my guy to be alive, and he is at the apex of his presidency right now. 50 pieces of legislation, the most passed by a president. Where would you even hear that if he didn't tell you last night?
Come on, everybody, at Tyll. Come on, everybody, at Tyll.
Well, he said that he would rub small little sand baskets all over my ass if I wanted to walk up and down the beach with him. We could do that for each other.
Well, I'm his mother, and I'm surprised at that.
Dad, I've been listening to this jerk all morning. Can we listen to something else?
Never looks for middle ground. He's never on the fence. Sorting facts with a razor's edge. Doesn't make any sense. More than just a voice on the radio. He's handing out the truth to those who don't know. And if you can't see a world out there, you better watch out. A man is gonna strip you back.
I feel very hurt about this.
This show is for America, all over the world. Ed Tyll Live. I thought we should do some Trump talk radio today. We haven't done this in a while. And my favorite